viewers, you're watching News 9 Facebook Live with me, Surat Suresh. Lockdown 4.0 will come to an end tomorrow, and for the same reason, now the Ministry of Home Affairs has come forward, has issued fresh guidelines. All of us expected, again, a lockdown 4.0 to lockdown 5.0, but seems like now the Ministry of Home Affairs, firstly, as soon as we open the document, the first thing which they mention is the guidelines for phased reopen of or unlock 1 is what they have termed this particular lockdown as. It has been extended till June 30th, but at the same time, a lot of relaxations is what they have given. So probably you were waiting for a lot of relaxations, probably waiting for the malls to reopen or the, the temples to reopen, all of that. So we'll just take you through what are these guidelines for unlock 1 is what they've called. So let's just take you through. Firstly, it will be a phased wise reopening of areas around the containment zone, because the containment areas is where it will be localized. Most of the cases will be localized because we are in stage 2 of the infection, that is local transmission. So probably they have tried to localize in one particular area. So containment zones will remain the same. There will be not much relaxations in those areas, but the areas surrounding the containment areas is what needs to be concentrated on. Firstly, there will be 3 phases in which the lockdown will be relaxed around the containment areas. Phase 1 will be the most essential ones. That will be the religious places, hotels, restaurants, and shopping malls. So these are a few of the things that will reopen from June 8th. So the first ever reopening of these hotels, restaurants, hospitality services like your lodges as well as shopping malls, all of this will reopen on June 8th. So remember the date. Malls will reopen on June 8th. Your temples, your churches, your mosques, and your religious places of worship will reopen on June 8th. Hotels, if you ever wanted to visit your favorite hotel, probably it is time. June 8th is when they will be reopening. But there will be standard operating procedures which they will be issuing, because if any of these activities will have to begin, firstly, masks will be compulsory, social distancing will have to be maintained, sanitizers will be compulsory in those areas. So probably they will start giving how many people can enter the restaurant at a particular point in time, and how many employees will be there at these hotels or in a religious place, or even for that matter malls, how many people are allowed to enter. These standard operating procedures, each of the states will be issuing separately. So they have given a free hand. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare of each of the state, they will be taking a decision. Now, phase 2 will be with respect to schools and colleges, when they will be opening, because now there have already been decisions taken regarding the exams of maybe the CBSE board exams, the SSLC exams in respective states, as well as the ICSE exams taking place, the IIT JEE exams taking place. So all of this decision has already been taken, but when will the new year resume? That is something which all of you have had on your mind, because schools have started to take fees, and most of you have already paid fees. So now you'll be wondering when your child will be going and they will be attending schools and colleges. A lot of standard operating procedures will be there for the schools and colleges as well. But a decision will be taken once the state governments give a deadline, or they give that these are rules that we'll be complying to, and then there'll be a meeting with the officials. The central government will be holding a decision which each of the state governments, and then they'll be taking a decision. So probably in the month of July is when they will be taking a decision. So it will be pushed by 2 months, because usually schools reopen in the month of June, but this time probably they'll be taking a decision mid-July. Probably your schools will be reopening, and anyway, colleges for that matter, only the first PO and the second PO, that they are the ones who will be reopening in June. But apart from that, engineering and medical colleges usually will be in August. So the phase 2 manner will be with respect to schools and colleges, where a decision will be taken in the month of July. Phase 3 will be with respect to the metro rails reopening, the theatres, gyms and swimming pools, entertainment parks and bars, auditorium, assembly hall, where a lot of congregation will be there. Well, that decision is yet to be taken. They have not decided yet when they will be reopening that. So probably after June 30th, they will be taking a decision on that as well. Now, more importantly, one more important factor is that your movement. So when will it be restricted or prohibited? We have already seen how from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. there's already a restriction which will be there. You cannot move around. So now it has been relaxed quite a bit. So from 9 p.m., remember this, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. is when there will be prohibition of movement. Only after 5 a.m., that is from 5:01, you can start coming out. So it will be easier for you to start moving around. Lockdown in the containment zones is what needs to be kept in mind. Because most of these lockdown regions, containment zones, is where there will be a lot of restrictions. So the lockdown will continue till June 30th in the containment zones, and even the district authorities will start demarcating the containment zones. There will be stricter laws which will be there in the containment zones because economic activities will start, increasing in those areas. So now in the containment zones, only essential services will be allowed. Only people with essential services or the tags which they have, they will be allowed to venture out. And intensive contact tracing will be there, and there will be random testing which will be taken up in all of these areas. So probably that will be taken up at the earliest. A lot of developments which have taken place here. No restriction on interstate and inter-district travel will be there. So that means there will be no restrictions at all. You can go ahead, you can start traveling, but this will be with respect to the night curfew which will be there. So let's take questions here. How about gyms? Edward is asking. Well, gyms, they have still not taken a decision. Like I mentioned, they will start taking decisions, and Karnataka recovery rate is low when compared to other states. Not true. Recovery rate is quite high. If you take a look, out of the 3,000 odd cases which are there, which have been reported in Karnataka, over half of them have recovered. So the discharge summary or the recovery rate is quite high. So we cannot say the recovery rate is bad. It is quite high in Karnataka. Everything is relaxed in Bengaluru, though it is a containment zone according to the national news. Everything is not relaxed. Like your friend asked here, what about gyms? And like I mentioned, a lot of things still remain under drawn shutters here. That is cinema halls, gymnasiums. They will have to take a decision regarding that. But apart from that, like you mentioned, now good news for all your foodies, because hotels will start reopening on June 8th. So that is a good decision which probably has been taken. When malls will open? Well, it will be on June 8th is when they will be opening. I'm planning to come to Hyderabad to Bengaluru on June 6th. It is compulsory to stay home quarantine or institutional quarantine. Well, yes, institutional quarantine for now, 7 days will be there, and then the next 7 days will be home quarantine. But you are allowed to travel. Interstate and intrastate travel is allowed, but you will have to pay that cost of testing. 650 rupees is what they have said. So probably you will have to pay, even if you get it tested in your state itself or in your city. And if you come here, you will have to get yourself tested yet again, because that is the rules which the state government has. Bangalore seems to be free for all. Well, we could say that. Now keeping in mind that most of IT companies have started resuming work and services. So probably, yes, we could say that it is a good news for all of them. Not to forget, even the Sunday curfew has been relaxed quite a bit. There will not be that stringent law which was there last week. So probably the Sunday curfew has also been relaxed. So you can have a relaxed Sunday, we can say. That is on May 31st. What about schools? Like I said, July is when they will be taking a decision. So till July, you will have to wait, because they will have to give a report on how many schools are there, what kind of classes, how many classes are there, how many periods. Until HRD ministry comes in, they've already put out guidelines for what needs to be done. So probably they will have to wait for the HRD ministry to take a decision. So till then, we'll have to wait for schools and colleges. It'll be a long extended summer holiday for all the students. what about engineering colleges? Well, engineering colleges the decision will be taken in July itself. Until then, no decision. I'm pretty sure most of your colleges have already taken a decision of holding tests or exams or your internals, externals through online-based portals. So probably that will work out in your favor. So probably yes. With all of these, the new guidelines which have been brought in, any passes required for interstate travel? No. As per the Unlock 1, which they have said, no passes required, no such passes is required for you to go ahead. E-permit will be required. No separate permission is required. So you can directly come in, but you will be screened when you enter the state here. So probably yes, it's a good news for all of you. A lot of activities relaxed in your respective states, and in particular Karnataka, Bengaluru, a lot of decisions have been taken. Ensure that you yourself are responsible. Maintain social distancing, you use your masks and wear gloves, use sanitizer, and try to have that personal hygiene as such. You will have to follow these guidelines, but some relaxations here, so you could be quite happy with that. Do follow us on all other social media platforms. We are there on Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube, apart from Facebook. So do follow us for more such updates.